Welcome back all. In the last video, we learned how to handle basic form submission using Express, where we created a form, submitted it to the server, and displayed the submitted data. But one thing, and that was very important thing, which was missing, that is validation. Now, we all know that in regular JavaScript, we can validate the input using things like if conditions, you can use regex, or maybe required attributes. But this only works on the client side and can be easily bypassed. So that's why we need server-side validation. And for that, Express provides a very useful middleware called express-validator. It helps us safely and cleanly check things like empty fields, valid emails, or let's say strong passwords right on the server before processing the data. So this will keep our application secure and professional. We already have a very simple form over here having two fields, that is of type text and type email. Now, Express Validator does not come shipped with Node.js. We have to install it externally. So for this, you need to use npm I express validator. So it's installing now. Might take some time, maybe a few seconds. Okay, so this is installed. We can check our package.json to see if it is there. Yes, it has been installed. Now let's create the backend code form val.js. And in order to save some time, already I'm going to put some code into this. So in order to understand this, you must go through the previous video. Now we need to import two specific functions from Express Validator. And let me do it here. Import body and validation result from Express Validator. Body is used to define the validation rules for form fields from request.body, while this validation result is used to collect validation errors after applying the rules. And Express Validator is the name of the package that you're importing. We just installed it. Now let's understand how exactly we can perform the validation. Here you will be able to send your file over the server. Now next is we need to submit the data. For submission of data, we need post method. So we'll be using app.post and I'll be using submit as the URL. So first parameter is URL. Now the second parameter, after the URL, we generally have any middleware if required. So in the previous videos, we did not use any middleware here. But now we are going to use the middleware inside this. We are going to actually put the logic for checking the errors. Put the logic for performing the validation. Now that will come inside an array. And now we have to use the body that we imported at the top, body, and you need to specify, it's a function, we need to specify the name of the form field. And there are certain built-in functions, like the first function I'll be using is not empty function. It's not empty. This will check if it is empty, and we have a with message function in order to display the message. Name is required or whatever you want to specify. But for now, I'll be keeping this empty. Next, we need for the email. Then for email, we need to check is email. So as you can see, there are so many validation. You can apply as many validation rules as you want, right? So yeah, so is email with message. For now I'm just keeping it empty, we'll see that later on. And we need a comma here because it's an array. Now this is complete, my middleware is complete. Now we need to have the callback function, that is the request and the response. Inside this we need to create a variable as const errors equals to validation result, and we need to pass the request inside. This means whatsoever is input by the user. So we are going to check that if these errors are not empty, means if this errors is not empty, this variable is not empty, then in that case you are going to send a response, return response dot send method, please fill all the details, all the details, or you can say fill all the fields correctly. Okay, so we can do one more thing here. We can add a back button, a back link using href equals to, you need, yeah, so the same URL will be going to the same URL, and let me use single quotes here instead. Close the tag. So we need here go back, and right, so this seems fine. Now this will run if there were errors, but if there were no errors, then we would be printing the data on the web page. So here we can use backticks. Let's use backticks, and let's say we are going to put an h2 tag. We'll be using the success message, success, close the h2 tag. All right, and we can have a paragraph after this that will print the data. So name should be request dot body dot name. We are using template literal, and email template literal again. This is request dot body dot email. This seems fine now. Let's now listen to the port app.listen. Pass the port number 3000 and a callback function. Console.log server is running. Console.log server is running. Okay, so let's run the server. Nodemon form val. Right, so this works. Let's check the server. We are going to click on the submit button without putting anything. Now you can see that it is performing the HTML validation. The reason is, in our HTML form, you can see we have written required. So the HTML validation right now is overriding express validation. So we are going to remove this. Okay, now let's get back again. We are going to refresh, submit now, and now you can see It shows a message, please fill all the fields correctly, right? And go back, and now you can put the data and then submit. Great, so this works for us. And if you want to print specific messages, then in that case you can mention the messages inside the and apart from this, you can also take a look at these built-in functions which are already there inside the express validator. So I hope the things are clear. That's all for this video. See you in the next one.